All right, we're going to go over September 10th price action. It's a little too loud. We are going to start top down. We're doing this Friday morning. Yeah. APLD, this was a former runner that pushed, so when we get to this day, it's day 2, so a multi-day runner did nothing essentially. The volume was just not enough for me to even consider looking at this. This is a typical pattern or a typical chart, it's just kind of sideways. This could run today. Let's see. Oh, of course. That's actually looking silky smooth. Just a little add that there. So this could potentially run today. So I'm keeping this actually on watch. ASNS was. This is a day 1 mover. It's typical chart where it goes up, flat, up, down. This chart like never works out. So glad we stayed away from that. BKYI. This was starred. This one did a pattern that we saw 2 or 3 weeks ago. It has this big push. It breaks down to view up and then it goes through view up. We thought about taking it here, but we did not, unfortunately, because this thing just skyrocketed. But we see these little flags. So first we have to let it base, and then we have to have an uptrend, and then we have to be like right below VWAP, that's the case here. And yeah, it popped, and one thing to note is as soon as it did this, it faded, and that's another clear pattern. So if we're not in before this haul, I would just not touch it, really, unless we see something go. But again, I'm getting kind of chopped up personally in the beginning of the market, so today I'm not gonna probably go as hard in the paint. I'm gonna wait for things to kind of set up a little bit more. BLMZ was a multi-day runner, and it was over this pivot, and it just did the old high day break and fade. These ones I feel like are really hard to predict which ones are gonna go and which aren't. Some are strong, some are not. So, you know, you just gotta keep going. I think at some point this can get to there, but we'll see. BNRG, no volume, but this is also a multi-day. Maxin, under 10 cent, not touching it. All right. So the biggest change of the week, QH. We finally have a penny stock under $1 that does anything, and it just did a full fucking 180. It said, okay, instead of just fading, we're gonna go straight up the entire day, which is crazy. This thing had a nice little hold here. I stayed away from this for the most part because of it being a penny stock and they're not working too well. We have a clear pattern here. We saw this twice, I think this week, this inverse head and shoulders look. Something to pay attention to. Also, this uptrend lasted like until 2 p.m. and started at 9:30. That's crazy. Same thing as BKYI, where we break VWAP, we come back down. And to me, something like this, oh, okay, I'm not going to be able to draw it. But something like this pattern where it's like it's fading back under is bearish. But we still have to remember that it can still go. And then we thought about taking this. There was no... These flags to me are kind of more difficult because they're kind of spready. You don't know if they're going to go yet. But that was nice. And then this push was also nice as well. Not going to get too much into later in the day. We know that it was strong. This could help influence other penny stocks. This is all I'm going to take away from that. But this was some clean 5-minute flags. yeah, this is some good price action here. Some inside flag right here too that I'm looking at. You could say this would be a good dip right here. This is a nice dip, but it is right under the 200. So QH was nice to see. QNRX, typical kind of fade stock pattern. SLXN, lower volume, just faded off. That was a day one. SMX did a W pattern off the rip. Down, up, down, up. This was the same thing as, I believe there was a penny stock yesterday. What was it? TNXP. I'm not even gonna do it. TNXP. I can do it. TNXP. All right. W pattern up until the market opened, and then fade once it broke this line. So let's look. Very similar, eerily similar. We actually took it here and sold here for that purpose. It was a good read. Anyways, VRAR, that just faded. Nothing really there. Wheeler was a multi-day. This is another one that's tough because we thought about taking it there for a little double bottom dip, but we just didn't because most of the times these things kind of like to fail. So this is why it's difficult. Some of them do it, some of them don't. Not really sure yet which one, how to predict which one will actually kind of push, but this one was nice. Had a nice little 190 MA dip, broke this uptrend, and then it just faded off the rest of the day. Workhorse ran yesterday and didn't do anything today, so, or yesterday, so. We're gonna go over patterns real quick. Let's pull this up. Switch. All right, we're gonna go over the bullish ones, the double bottom flag. Let me see here, one touch, two touch. That's super early on. Usually we see this, it's cleaner around 10:30, especially one that's pushing up like QH or something that's established momentum. So, but if we see it early on, I don't mind taking a stab. The W pattern, this is the, you can have instantly push down and then consolidation, or you can have a few minutes that are bullish and then turn bearish. So just remember to keep stocks. Always check to see where stocks are. Have a plan for kind of each one. We got to get better at projecting out for different stocks. SMX we nailed. Uptrend holds. You know, see for this one, we could have added like here. But that was it, kind of it. Like, we don't know if it's gonna hold this spot, but it is what it is. QH. This might be the longest fucking uptrend I've ever seen in a penny stock. Crazy. But it's nice. Nice to see. Inside 5 flag. Either this or this pull right here would have been good ads. Inverted head and shoulders. We've seen this twice. So we've seen this pattern up, down, up, down. I believe, I forget what stock did it, but it was nice. VWAP reclaim. Flags near VWAP. We have this break, come down, push. Always keep an eye out for it. It's big play potential. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I feel like I can get chopped up easily, but you know, it is what it is. Dip the pre-market high. We only saw one of this. I'm not really gonna base my trading off of that for now, but that was a pattern early on in the year though. Let's look at the bearish double top. Typical multi-day open bell push and then just instant fade. The vertical up, vertical down, or fade down. Key level fails. Even though this one pushed later, it's just something to note that if we get to the daily 200 that we're gonna see some resistance there. Again, another 200. Surprise, surprise. Uptrend break. We've seen this a lot too. You see this huge. Once we see this, we can mentally step away from the stock for a little bit. For example, on BKYI, you see this happen, and then we kind of just step away. But it's always good to, once you see this, our first thought should be, oh, it's dead. Our first thought should be, okay, where can it settle and where can it go? And maybe highlight certain areas where, if later in the day it does want to hold, it's kind of easier to kind of picture out. So, but that is going to be it for this one. And yeah, we're gonna fucking kick ass today.